Okay, everybody, we're going to cover lunges. In that video the other night, I did walking lunges, forward walking lunges. You can do a variety of these with body weight or with weight. And either way, I'm going to demo from a side view just a regular lunge. First of all, there are people who, if doing a stationary lunge, will lunge forward and then come back. And whether they keep going on one leg or keep switching back and forth between right and left leg, I'm not a big fan of this version of the lunge. All right, the reason I'm not a fan of it is because I find it puts the knee tissue at a weird stressed angle. All right, some people might not have that problem. I personally do, so I avoid forward stepping lunges if I'm not doing a walking version of it. So if I'm staying in one spot, I'm not going to continue walking forward. I don't do this one where I go this way and then come back. I'm not a fan of it. If you got to stay in one spot, if you don't have the space to do the walking version of it, stepping back is a better option. It puts much less stress on your knee, in most cases no stress, and you still get the benefit of the exercise. So, whatever leg you're doing, if you're stationary, you're going to step back, come down. For the most part, I'm keeping my legs at two 90-degree angles in this lowest position. All right, maybe the slightest bit more acute. And then I'm coming up. All right, whether I switch legs or not, I'm keeping that strict motion. Okay, my back knee is either stopping about a half inch or so shy of the floor, or instead it's very lightly touching the floor. What I'm not doing is crashing or bouncing into the floor and then like rushing up. And I'm also not doing this and resting and coming up. So I'm not bouncing or crashing up. I'm also not resting and then coming up. One, because you can hurt your knee. Two, kind of kills the form. All right? So your spine, you want to keep straight. You might end up leaning the slightest bit forward. You want to minimize that. If you're doing walking lunges forward, you're going to probably develop a little bit of that habit, but try to minimize it. In other words, don't do this, where your whole body is forward the whole time. You also don't want to hunch your back. I see a lot of people do heavy lunges like this with weights, and they're doing this bullshit. Whether you're walking forward with continuous lunges or doing backstepping ones like this, no lunge should look like that. That's a crock of shit. If someone's saying, oh, I did the lunges with this amount of weight in my hands, and that's what they look like, no, they didn't. They're fooling themselves. All right? And they're going to end up hurt. Anyway, spine is straight. You can keep your hands either at your sides or on your hips, whatever's more comfortable. And there's the slightest, almost unnoticeable pause in that low position. But again, because my knee is either not touching the floor or lightly brushing against it, I'm not resting. All right? So you can keep them stationary like that and just do backstepping ones where you're only using a few square feet of space the entire time. Or, if you got a length of space to use, you can do walking ones and literally just keep moving forward. You got two options here. You can do a lunge, stop for a second when your feet are together, and then come out with the other leg. And you're always stopping with your feet together. That's the easier version. The other one is just keep going. All right? No matter what, whether it's the walking lunges or the backstepping ones in a stationary position, what I'm not doing is this. I'm not using my body to kind of propel myself forward with momentum. All right? I'm keeping my spine straight, even if I got to slow down. Too many people do these fast, and they friggin' screw up the form because of it. Stay controlled. Okay? On the way up, well, first off, when you step down, you might need to exaggerate your step forward at first, because when you do these, you want to make sure that your knee doesn't go past the front toe. Or if it does, it's very, very slight. All right, so when I step, I plant my foot, and I'm just coming down. I'm straight down on the way down. On the way up, it's a 35 or 45 degree angle as if I'm going up a hill or a flight of stairs. Okay? And if I'm doing the walking ones, I'm just forward and forward and forward, I'm not really stopping, then I'm still acknowledging that correct form where I'm going up like the flight of stairs. Alright? So on the way down, you're going straight down like an elevator. On the way up, you're going up like you're going upstairs on an escalator. Alright? Either way, play around with those. My recommendation is to constantly alter the legs and to go slow and controlled. You can do them by themselves, or you can do a set of one or more types of push-ups until you fail out. All right, as long as the form's correct. You go until you get stuck. And as soon as you're done with that, go into a set of those lunges. Whether it's constantly going forward, the walking ones, or the backward stepping ones in the stationary position. Whoops, in the stationary position. Technically, you could also do back stepping lunges as well, just as a heads up. But there's a little more coordination involved. I wouldn't do those unless I was really comfortable with the other versions first. There are also plyometric lunges. You can do them in one spot, and similar to the plyometric walking push-ups, you can just stay stationary the whole time. When you come down, I'm not pounding the knee. If you notice, I'm allowing myself to go slow with that so that I'm either landing with that back knee about a ½ inch or so from the ground, or it lightly touches the floor. I'm not resting, and I'm not bouncing or crashing. You can also move forward with them. Same form. I'm just propelling myself more forward. And when I do that, I am not throwing my upper body into it like this. Okay? I'm still using just from the torso down. Abs are involved because the abs are helping keeping me stationary from the waist up, from the hips up. But you want to limit how far forward your upper body dips on those. And on pretty much all of those, breathing in on the way down, breathing out on the way up. All right? Take your time. When you're not doing a plyometric one, aka a jumping one, the ones that are just regular lunges, about 2 to 3 seconds down, about 2 to 3 seconds up. Even 1.5 seconds is fine if you're counting one Mississippi. And the same goes for the squats in the previous videos. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good one.